This is DRF, Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day. For Saturday, September the 18th, it's a good one. It's the Grade 1 Woodbine Mile. Let's take a look at this field. Race number 10 at Woodbine on Saturday. 3 graded stakes races, 2 Grade 1s on the turf, including the Woodbine Mile. And you can download free past performances for the mile on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. The 7 Raging Bull is your morning line favorite at 2-1. Raging Bull has done some good things this year for Chad Brown. In a field like this, however, Mike, I get the feeling that I'm not sure how low I want to go with Raging Bull. He can be had.
I would get that feeling every time he runs. He's not the kind of horse that you want to be taking short prices on. That's for sure. Obviously, his good race makes him really tough in here, Dan. It seems like in a lot of ways it's usually about trip for him. That being said, I thought his trip was fine in the 4-star Dave last time, and he was terrible.
Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector because there's pace in here. Town Cruise from the inside has got to go. And to me, the key to this race is whether the number 6, the mare, Change of Control, who's stretching out, is at least going to put a little bit of heat on him. I'm not sure if she will. She's tactical enough. I think Raging Bull will be content to sit off of the lead. Town Cruise might get loose. The question is he good enough?
Yeah, that would be my question too. I don't know. I assume he's going to be on the early lead in here. That's been his running style. It's been, obviously somewhat effective for him. I guess you just have to go back to his last race, Dan, and decide what you think of it. Was that pace too fast? I don't know. When I watched the race, I didn't think it was too fast. He was absolutely loose in there. He got tired late, and he was really no match. He lasted for second, if you want to give him a little bit of credit. I thought he was no match.
Well, let's see what our friends at home have to say, because Olympic Runner was in that race. That was the Grade 2 King Edward. It was Town Cruise's first stakes race. We turn into the stretch, and Olympic Runner is chasing Town Cruise. Town Cruise on the lead, Olympic Runner in the pink. March to the Arch, Olympic Runner's uncoupled stablemate, is in the red cap in behind. Town Cruise seems to be in control. Olympic Runner's just a nice, honest horse, though. He'll eventually grind down Town Cruise. And March to the Arch, well, I didn't think he would win with a perfect trip. Maybe if he doesn't get in tight in between, he grabs second.
Yeah, and he also didn't break very well in this race, March to the Arch, so that probably cost him. Olympic Runner, he ran fine in here, Dan. He got a really good trip. It sort of felt like he took advantage that day. When you go to his race 2 back when Avi's Flatter beat him, he did not get a great trip, and it probably cost him. He rebounded last time. He was a really nice price, and he got the job done. He can win this race too. I'll wait and see what kind of price he goes off at.
He's 10-1 on the morning line, which is really fair. I have a feeling he might get bet a little bit off of that race. And I wonder if last time was the time. I think you make a good point. He was a horse that was always knocking on the door, and he got the trip. As for March to the Arch, he was second in this race last year. He usually seems to come with a good run. It's all about pace and trip. He is a closer. He needs the right pace setup. He needs the right trip. Last time out, all in all, after the break, the trip was okay. I would like to see him get into it a little bit earlier, but he'll be running late.
I agree. I thought he ran fine last time. He didn't break great in there, trailed all the way up the backstretch, stayed towards the inside. I thought he ran fine. His race 2 starts back. He got a big pace to close into, and he came with a late run and won easily. The thing that I like most about him, Dan, is, and I always like this horse. I'm a big fan of his. I just like that in this race, you probably are going to get a price on him. He's been favored in all 3 of his starts so far this year. He's not going to be favored in here today, and he can win this race on his best day.
Ride a Comet, the number 4, is 2 for 2 on the E.P. Taylor turf course, and Mark Cassie's done a very good job with this horse. Just keep in mind that he was off for about 2 years, and he's come back pretty much as good as new. He was second to Raging Bull in the Maker's Mile, 3 back. I thought it was a good effort. He was third to Set Piece, who's in here in the Wise Dan last time out. I thought that was a good effort. This is a very underrated closer.
Yeah, I think he's a little underrated too. I don't love the fact that I guess you could say he's kind of a closer, and there are other very good closers in this race. But I think he'll get the jump on most of those horses. I think he's a little bit more tactical than a horse like Set Piece, and obviously that didn't help him last time. But he was also wide last time, while Set Piece made an inside run to get the job done there. I don't know, Dan. I just think this horse is good. I think he's still underrated. I think he could be a fair price in here.
Set Piece has emerged as one of the better middle distance horses in North America. He won the Wise Dan 2 starts back. Then he ran on the 4-star Dave. But as Mike mentioned, he doesn't have speed. And when you don't have speed, you got two options racing from the back of the pack. You either try to go through horses or you do what Set Piece did in the 4-star Dave. We turn into the stretch and he swings about 7 wide turning for home. And he's going to come with a really good, strong late run. But the nice mare got Stormy, just had the tactical edge, the jump, and that tactical advantage was too much. But a good effort again for Set Piece, who will be charging in the stretch.
Yeah, he ran pretty well in this race. You see everybody's kind of closing at Got Stormy here, and he's the one who prevails for second. That was Raging Bull to the green silks towards his inside, just not kicking on at all. I don't know. I thought he ran well in there, Dan. I liked his wins, both 2 and 3 back. I think he's obviously a major player in here. You know, would I want to be betting him as the favorite or one of the favorites? I don't know, probably not, but I recognize him as, in some ways, the horse to beat in here.
The Michelle Lavelle barn, they know what they're doing. They've entered change of control in some really nice spots, and they've made a lot of money with her this year, including this effort in the Royal North last time out, where she ran a good third. We're going to watch that race going 3/4 of a mile. She's on the outside in here. She has tactical speed, whether it's sprinting or routing. She runs okay. Maybe you're disappointed she doesn't get up, but it was yet another good performance for change of control. My main question is, she's taking a big step up in class, and the distance is a question mark as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're both questions. Her form overall this year especially is very good. And she runs fine in this race. I'm with you. I don't think she had any real excuse not to win there. I'd probably be a little bit happier if she got the job done. 2 back, she won the Intercontinental. That was going 7. This is a 1-turn mile. I guess it's, you know, kind of comparable. At the same time, in the Intercontinental, she beat Piedi Bianchi and Madeline Must. So this is a significant step up in class.
Raging Bull gets Frankie Dettori for Chad Brown, so you've got all-world connections. This horse was always kind of a closer, and when he made his seasonal debut in the Maker's Mark at Keeneland, he got closer to the pace. He seemed to be traveling smoothly throughout, and after that race, boy, I was thinking maybe finally Raging Bull's going to live up to that big potential and that big reputation. He wasn't embarrassed in the poker. He kind of got stuck down inside. He was close to a very fast pace, and a closer, Alexandra, was able to come over the top of him. But last time out in the 4-star Dave, that was kind of disappointing.
Yeah, he was very disappointing last time. I don't know what to say. I agree with you about his Maker's Mark off the left. It felt like a different kind of race from him, where he kept closer, still finished very strongly. It was a really impressive win. You know, his poker, he had an excuse, I guess, but he still lost at another short price. I don't know, Dan. I feel like an idiot every time this horse runs. I can be won over by him at times, and then he comes up and he runs a race like he did in the 4-star Dave last time, which is what I'm usually expecting him to do. I'm past the point of wanting to either pick or bet him when he's a short price, and he's going to be a short price.
Avi's Flatter enjoyed a perfect trip to beat Olympic runner in the Connaught Cup, 2 starts back going 7/8 of a mile. Luis Contreras got him down into the pocket. He was able to get out, and he was able to win that race. In the King Eddie last time out, the replay we showed you with Olympic runner, he was right in the thick of things at the 16th pole, and he just lacked a little bit of stretch oomph. I wonder if we've seen his best race, a Beyer speed figure in the mid-90s. You might need 100 to win this.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was looking at it too. He had a fair shot last time, and at the end of the day, just wasn't quite good enough. He was good enough 2 starts back when he beat Olympic Runner, but again, Olympic Runner did not have a great trip in that race, and this horse did.
European Invaders have done very well in the Woodbine Mile. The 9 Duke of Hazzard comes to the States for the first time. This horse is a Group 2 winner in England. His last win was a Group 2 in England. That last win was over 2 years ago. He might be in tough.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I'm looking at him. I don't know, Dan. I'm willing to give him a lot of respect in here. I don't think he's meeting a bunch of killers. It's a good field, but it's not a great field. But this is a horse who hasn't won. He won his last 3 starts as a 3-year-old, and he hasn't won since then. And there's a bunch of second and thirds in there, so it feels like he's maybe retained his form. But I would have to get a pretty big price if I was going to bet him.
The Space Traveler completes the field. We've seen him in North America. He was beaten 5 lengths in the 2019 Breeders' Cup Mile, transferred to Brendan Walsh for his most recent start. He had no chance in the Mr. D the way that race was run. Just a crawl up front with 2 Emmys backing down 3/4 to 16 and change. All in all, Space Traveler ran a sneaky good race. I think he has a shot to at least spice up the exotics at a price.
Yeah, I don't disagree. He never was going to win that race the way that it shook out in front of him, sitting last on the rail. And he also, I feel like you could give him some extra credit for even making up some ground, going 1.25 miles, which felt like a big question mark for him going in. It feels like this mile distance is a lot better for him.
Let's take a look at our top picks. You can go so many different ways in this year's edition of the Woodbine Mile. Ride a Comet, I think, Mike, you're right. I think he has a little bit more tactical speed than true closers like Set Piece, like March to the Arch, like some of the European horses. I can see him setting a second flight trip in here and maybe kind of making a move in tandem with Raging Bull on the turn.
Yeah, he's going to need to get the right trip in this race, Dan, because I feel like he probably does need to catch a break if he's going to be, assuming everybody shows up and runs their best race. He's probably going to need a little bit of a break to win here, but I think he's pretty capable, and I think the trip could go, if it goes in his direction, I think he can pull off what would be a mild upset here.
To me, this is a spread race. March to the Arch was the beaten favorite last time out. I think he had enough excuses to make me think he's still in good form. He's going to get a solid pace. He's going to give an honest run at the end, and the price might actually be playable this time around. Mike's going 4.537. I'm going 3.275. It's the Grade 1 Woodbine Mile, one of 3 graded stakes races in Toronto on Saturday. Good luck.